Okay, we're out here for another one. Beautiful day. Weather's much nicer. Turn it around here and show you something. There's where I was at the last time you seen me getting stuff out. Got these two big trees down here. And the middle is out on them, as you see. This stuff here is solid. To be honest, I don't know what that is. It's not, I don't believe that's oak. I do not believe that's oak. It's definitely not red oak. I don't believe it's white oak either. The bark is just different. That may be hickory. Not shagbark hickory, but that may just be hickory. I'm not sure. But this one's the same way. You see the middle's hollow, but all this is solid. And I've got some more oak down in there to get, so I'm working my way through different areas. For now, I'm going to keep working on this area. I'm going to go ahead and take these out. I may have to clear some of these weeds out here. Don't want to get snake bit. But anyway, we'll see what we can do. Get another load. This guy's talking about maybe buying 5 more, so try to get this done. Just get him a good load today, make him happy with that, and then hopefully he'll buy 5 more or 4 more, whatever he said. And then I had another guy I just got off the phone with a while ago, and he said he was wanting 2 full cords, so got a lot to do. I'm glad of that. Thankful for it. Blessed with it. All right, here's that big hollow tree. Maybe some of you can tell me what you think that is. I know I've already mentioned that in the video, or maybe you haven't heard that part yet, actually. But I know one thing, when you cut it with a chainsaw, it seems to be harder to cut for some reason. So I don't know if it's hickory or pin oak or what. And it's very hard to split. This stuff is too. Not as bad as elm or sycamore, but it's hard stuff to split without a doubt. That Makolo there, I'd really like to have that ported, but the guy that I bought it from said that if I were to do that, I think he said it would be hard to work on it, or either hard to get parts for, or maybe both. I can't remember how he put it exactly. But I mean, I would in a way like to have it ported because I want some more power out of it. Not that it doesn't have enough power as it is, but honestly, I want to run a bigger bar on it. I'd like to run a 28-inch bar or bigger myself. I'm sure a lot of you all that have watched Buck and Billy Ray, or a lot of you that just have probably done it yourself, know it's, he says stand up and buck. It is much easier if you have a long bar and you don't got to bend over like that all day. It really is hard on your back. It just wears you out quick. That's actually probably harder on my back and stuff than splitting is, and probably wears me out even more. I mean, I really don't like cutting like that myself, to be honest. I don't cut that way because I want to. It's just with a 20-inch bar, I mean, you can't really stand up and stuff. Or maybe you can, but I haven't been able to do very well. Definitely think with a 28-inch bar or bigger, I'd be able to do well with that. But that saw, it's a great saw. I really enjoy that Makolo. Like my Johnson Red even better though. That's before I used Makolo and Johnson Red, my favorite thing was steel, and I still love steel saws. They're definitely one of my favorites. I haven't used a lot of Husqvarnas at all. I mean, really hardly at all, really. I've used Echo, some I've owned Echo. I really enjoyed the Echo that I had, and I've loved the steels that I've had too. I've never had a real big steel though. I think when I first started out doing firewood, I had a 170, and then I ended up getting a 251 and also a 290, and I really enjoyed the 251 and the 290 I enjoyed a lot. It does make a big difference having a bigger motor on your saw. Without a doubt it does. Of course, keeping it sharp is very key as well. But a big motor makes a big difference without a doubt. A smaller chainsaw, though, a lighter duty one, definitely has its place, as I'm sure most people know who use saws. There's definitely places where I wouldn't want to have a big heavy saw. But whenever it comes to bucking wood, I like to have one with quite a bit of power. Me, myself, anyways. Not only because it just cuts better, because it has more power, it goes through it better, especially when you're doing some decent sized rounds, but because you can also run a bigger bar and it can turn that chain better. And I know these are hollow, and the inside is bad, it is, but the stuff on the outside is all solid. I don't want to let it go to waste. If it lays there another year, then the outside may begin to rot away too. But for now, I split one earlier somewhere, and it's solid. It's solid stuff. But I don't know what kind of wood it is, to be honest. This may be pin oak. The guy was telling me there was some pin oak back here. Back here, what I've mainly got is white oak and red oak. I've got some walnut, poplar, maple, I think a little bit of hickory, and then maybe this may be pin oak or this may be hickory. I don't know. Somebody can probably tell me though. Some red oak there. What? Huh? Oh yeah, we both kind of thought this thing was kind of neat. I don't know what it is. This, when you do that, it has some kind of powder that comes out. Chuck Carter. Ain't that weird? Yeah. Powder, I don't know if you can see that very good. But whatever that is, it's got some kind of powder that comes out. What it is, I wouldn't even want to touch it. It's so weird, the things in the forest that grow. I have no idea what that is. Car's over there playing with salamanders that came out from under that one. But that's cleared that out a lot. As you remember, those two trees were there. And then I got some more oak out of there. But these are some big rounds, heavy rounds too. They're heavy to get out of there. And believe me, that's not the way I prefer to do it, is pulling it out and then bringing it up on flatland and stacking it. Before, when I got it from this wood pile, I didn't have to do that. I'd cut it right there, stand it up and split it. Here I'm having to bring it up here. And some of them are so big I row, but sometimes I'll put them on my shoulder, sometimes I just pack them. But this hopefully should be enough to make a load by the time I get all this. If not, I'll cut some more, but it shouldn't take too much more. These are some big rounds. I don't know if you can tell how big these are. Pretty big. Clean, pretty hand.
Believe me, it's not clean at all.
Anyway, we got some good looking red oaks. I don't think there's any white oak. And then whatever that stuff is, like I said, that may be pin oak, maybe some sort of hickory. Somebody else can probably tell me what that is. Go ahead and start getting splitting and loading it up. Take it on. Excalibur. Back. Bring it through the axe, boy. Get out of here now. I got work to do.
I have no place to leave it.
Definitely looks like oak. Stringy. And as you can see, that's solid wood. So that's what I'm getting from the outside. Solid wood. It's been down for a while. And this guy too is, he's said he can take up to a 24-inch log. So he said between 16 and 24. So I try to do with this stuff. He also said he didn't like it cut real little, so Sounds like an easy guy to work with. Whatever this wood was, it was pretty tough stuff. It was just it was just far more resistant to splitting than white oak, and it was very stringy as well. Stringy stuff. The strings on it were stronger. The strands, rather, were stronger than white oak fibers, from what I could tell. It's Friday night. I think it's around 10 o'clock maybe. It's dark. I didn't get home until after dark, which I think it started getting dark around 7:40. You can tell it's starting to get dark more and more early. And the guy that I delivered to, he really liked to talk.
Came out, and there is some in the middle there that I probably won't use.
A little bit later,
but the outside stuff is solid. Stuff here, that's solid as can be. Very solid. So it will be used. Go to this pleasant red oak over here. So we got 1 red oak, 2 red oak, 3 red oak, 4 red oak, mystery wood, maybe pin oak. And then in the shot we've also got a red oak there, pin oak there, maybe pin oak there. Carter, you can be loading, buddy. Oh, just don't get too close to me though. Be all right with them in bigger sections. This wood burner's that big. Probably what I want, actually. And that red oak is nice. Tripod. Hey! Line.
Teach me.
Whoa! Hey!
I command you to teach me right.
Hey! Whoa! Hey!
Now what is mystery?
Hey! Oh! Hey! Oh! Hey! Hey! Iron oak. Ah!
Where did that get you?
Yeah.
Huh?
All right in the shin.
I know what that is.
bad. It's still hurting.
On.
You can cut that part out so it looks better. Nobody has to see that. But I may leave it. Woo. That's gonna be a big bruise. Probably.
Don't worry, I got millions.
Those shin shots do not feel good.
I don't know how or what. I've had like six, at least I had like 10 bruises in my arm.
What?
I had like 5 bruises in this arm, 5 bruises in this arm. And I have some bruises on my leg. I don't know where they came from. Or
Am I hearing wah wah from you?
hey, I'm the one that has
You
more.
heard it from me, didn't you?
No.
You heard wah wah from me just now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll wah wah a little bit. Wah wah. When I hit the old shin, I will.
What about the ear?
Ear.
The ear.
That makes no sense whatsoever. The old shin shots do not feel too good. Shin shots? The old shin shots do not feel too good. Kind of hard for me to say. But I've done it quite a few times, to be honest with you. Whenever the wood's laying on the ground like that and I hit it, if you ain't careful, you'll knock it right into your shin. I mean, and if you've seen Buck and Billy Ray do it before, sometimes he'll stand on it, and I've done that as well. I don't recommend doing that at all unless you're very experienced with an axe. And I also recommend wearing steel toes. I always do. Actually, one day, it's been years ago, I think the first year I started hand splitting, which I got pretty comfortable with an axe at that point. I think I was using a double bit axe, and I was splitting a piece of wood, and somehow, like, I went through the wood, and the axe kept going, and if I'm not mistaken, it hit a round right next to me. And when it hit that round, it bounced back and went through the side of my boot, right behind my steel toe, and cut a piece out of my pinky toe. Now the middle, some of that's definitely going to be thrown away. But this outside here, that's solid. That is solid stuff. Listen to that. Yeah, that's solid. Why would I let that go to waste? I won't. There's the loader. He was trying to talk a little too much and stand around talking, so I had to jump onto him a little. Tell him to get to the lake. You gonna talk, you better talk while you're moving, boy. I know this is a different style of splitting than the traditional style that many people are probably used to. And I think it's a far better style. And I learned it from Buck and Billy Ray. But he's not the original one to split this way. I mean, people have split this way for many years. He definitely made it more popular, without a doubt. But this is nothing new, splitting this way. But to me, he's somebody too who's learned a lot of tricks to make it easier and things like that. So, if you're trying to learn how to use an axe, I definitely recommend watching his channel as well. If you haven't already, which many of you, if you're watching my channel, you've probably already seen Buck and Billy Ray. Very, very skilled axeman. He really is. Very great work ethic as well. Especially from somebody who's had their back broke and who's in their early 50s. Whatever this is, it's pretty tough to split. It's actually harder to split probably than white oak. It may be pin oak. I've heard somebody talk about before how hard that was. I'm only familiar with really the woods that I do around here locally, I do quite a few different kinds, probably 15 to 20 different species. But pin oak is one if I have done it, I didn't recognize it for what it was. But he told me there's some pin oak back here. He also said there's some hickory, so I'm not familiar with either one of those. So shagbark hickory, I know what that looks like. I don't think this is it. The bark is kind of shaggy on this, but I don't think it's as shaggy as that stuff. But anyways, not sure what it is. It's real stringy. It's heavy stuff too. Big piece right here. As you can see, it's pretty stringy stuff. I don't know what kind of wood that is. It's pretty solid stuff, but it's actually the strings on that are actually stronger than the strings on the white oak. The other day I was talking about this head too. I wanted to show it up close kind of. I have a video on it of a review of this axe, which some people may have seen. But there's what I was talking about with the head. See that wedge shape? It doesn't get stuck very easy. Man, I've been hard on this axe too, and it's tough. Give it credit where credit's due. Look at that.
Not even a scratch.
Look at the wedge shape right there. I mean, it's such a good splitter. And as you can see too, this isn't very wide at all. I don't know, maybe, yeah, like 3 inches or something like that. And as I said before, I don't sharpen this often at all. Look at that axe head. It's actually got some nicks in it and everything. Look at the top. I haven't sharpened this thing in over a year. Hit the ground with it a lot, and it splits good. I've heard that when you got them very sharp to a thin point, like a very sharp thin point, that they don't split as good, to be honest, but I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard that like if it's a little bit thicker on the blade on the end, the edge, I've heard that if it's a little bit thicker and more rounded, it splits better, but I don't know how true that is. I feel like there is some truth to it. I feel like if you get it really sharp, yeah, it penetrates the wood good, but maybe doesn't split as good. But then again, I could be wrong. Maybe the sharper the better. Anyways, there's the head on that. See it from that angle. See how far out it goes? It doesn't get stuck too easy at all. I love this. I love the head on this axe. I love this axe. I love the handle on it. I'm an old-fashioned type of guy. I am. I like old-fashioned stuff, but I'll tell you one thing. This right here, if they would have had a head like that in the old days, that's the one I would have went for probably. Because that is a splitter. It is. Kiss it, Carter.
Huh?
Kiss it.
No.
No.
That's my water. I was drinking it.
You want a little drink, eh?
No.
Yeah.
It's freezing out here. It's literally winter time.
It's fall time.
It feels winter.
No, it doesn't at all.
And plus, it's what the dog more water.
Should be a bunch. Should be some in the back too. Anyways, get back to work. Me and Carter joke around quite a bit when we're out there. We both have fun doing it. He's dumped water on me too before, but I've got him quite a few different times. There was a while back I was chasing him, just playing around. I just took off chasing him, and it was muddy, and I stepped in the mud and slipped and went all the way down to my belly. Just rode over on my back, and while I was laying there, he came up and poured water. I think it went down my nose, if I'm not mistaken. Which I think I had got him first, so I guess I had it coming. As you can see him loading there in the background. I remember one time when he went with me to do a delivery, and this guy walks up, the guy that I was delivering to, very friendly man. Just a very, very friendly man, him and his wife both. And a younger man too, maybe 40 years old. And he came up and he said, "Can I give him this?" It was after we had already unloaded all the wood and everything. And it was money. And I said, "Yeah, if you want to." And I thought maybe you'd give him $5 or something like that. And he walked up and gave it to him. And it ended up being a $50 bill. I texted him after that and told him thank you very much for that, and we really appreciate it. And I think he said something to the nature of no problem, and tell the little man that hard work pays off. And I do try to teach Carter that, and I'm a firm believer in that as well. It's in one of my videos. I put it in here before, but
there's a scripture in the Bible, and I believe the Bible with all of my heart 100% to be truth. And I believe that truth is something that's unshakable, something that will stand no matter what. And something I kind of, a way I kind of think sometimes is
there's some stringy stuff right there, buddy.
There's
stringy stuff.
There's a lot of different opinions out there, but opinions don't shake the truth one little bit.
Where's you out?
The truth is the truth.
Don't think it ain't solid.
I mean, that's what'll stand.
On the outside, it is.
So I really like to study the truth, and I fail at living by the truth, though. That's what it comes down to. It's I know what I need to do, but I fail at it. And there was a time in my life to where I did so much better. And I seen so much better results when I lived that way. And I need to get back there. I really do. But the scriptures in the Bible are something that I believe with all of my heart to be truth. So I like to study that truth and to try to live by that truth. Because I believe the truth is profitable to a man or a woman.
Look at the color of the inside. It's got like a purplish hue. Red, and then it turns like purplish. Could be though where this one's hollow in the middle, but as you can see through, there's a squirrel nest or something all down through it. Solid wood. Going to be used for firewood, whatever it is. An oak or hickory or what. It's a big tree, I know that. Some tough stuff. Tougher than white oak. It is, it's tougher than white oak. Now they're probably they're close in weight. It's tougher and it's stringier than white oak. Like the strings on this, white oak's bad, but these strings are tougher actually, I believe. I believe so. It's definitely tougher too. Harder to split.
Back to the point I was making, though, the man had said something that reminded me of scriptures. And there's a lot of things in life. There's times that I face a certain obstacle or just a struggle or a trial or something like that, and a scripture will come to my mind. Or even good things sometimes will bring them to my mind. And because the scriptures are good. But what I mean by the trials and things like that, there's scriptures that help in those moments, in those trials. And sometimes those will come to my mind, and they really help if you'll lean upon those things, and trust in them. And I truly do. And I've found before that doing that pays off without a doubt. But the man said something to the nature of, tell the little man that hard work pays off. And there's a scripture I posted on one of my videos, and I really like that scripture. And it says something to the nature of, seest thou a man diligent in his business? It said, he shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. And the way I took that is like somebody that's diligent in their business, that'll pay off. Kind of like the man said, hard work pays off. You reap what you sow. I believe that as well. And so those scriptures, I really enjoy reading them, and I really enjoy more than anything leaning on them, because I truly do believe you can. I believe you can without a doubt. And it seems like there's been many times in my life to where I've been able to lean upon those things, and they've helped me out a whole lot, the scriptures. And before that, like I think I've mentioned in one of my videos before, I liked poetry a whole lot. And there were a lot of poems that I read, and they sounded pretty, they sounded good. But then as I began to learn about things, I realized, well, yeah, these things, they know how to make it sound pretty and stuff, but there's no truth in these, so there's really no value in them. I don't care how pretty it sounds. You can make a lie sound as pretty as you want to, but it's not going to do me any good. A lie isn't. The truth is what will set you free, and so that's what I like to. That's the only thing that I believe in. That I believe in the truth, and opinions will not shake the truth one little bit. So I try to teach Carter about things of that nature, about working hard and how that pays off, and about doing people right and things like that. And I need to be an example of that.
It's some tough wood, I would say that.
When I was raised up, there was things my dad told me not to do, and he'd say, don't do this and don't do that, and don't you ever do this. And I'd watch him do those very things. And when you're like that to them, you're not being much of a light to them. You know, that's what you need to do, is be a light to them. You need to show them a way. Sitting there and telling them, don't do this and don't do this, and then you not doing it, or telling them do this or do this, and then you not doing that, you know. Or don't do this and you are doing it. Doing the opposite of what you tell them, pretty much, is what I'm trying to get across. When that doesn't really go well with them. You know, they don't really take that too serious. I didn't. I ended up drinking when I was a teenager, and at one point was even an alcoholic. And my dad at one point was too, and my papa also. I want to do my best to try to show them a better way, not just say it to them. But yeah, I remember that, man. I don't think I'll ever forget that, him walking up and doing that to Carter. And there's been many other people too that have been very good about Carter. It seems like they're very happy to see him working with me. A lot of people. And I'm very happy to have him there. And when Camden gets a little bigger, he'll be going with me as well. And I've got many plans for the future, not just firewood and landscaping. We've got other things planned as well. I plan to in the future, and I'll probably put some in these videos, but try to buy some old fixer-upper properties and kind of remodel them and rent them out as well. So that's something I definitely plan to get into. I've got a lot of plans. Got a big family. I just want to support them. Not only my family, but honestly, if I was able to make more money, there's other things I'd like to do too. There's so many people out there in need. I seen an ad on one of these YouTube videos a while back, and it was sad. I ended up watching the whole thing. But it was the little kids starving to death, you know, in one of those other countries somewhere else. But it's sad when you see it, when you look at a little kid there and they're all bones and stuff, you know, for the most part. And just an innocent little child, sweet little things. I mean, Jesus, somewhere in the Bible, when he talked about little children, he said, of such is the kingdom of heaven. And I don't get political I don't try to get political much at all, but I can tell you this. And I'll take politics completely out of this, and I may offend I probably will offend a lot of people with this, but I'll make it very clear, I'm 100% against slaughtering babies. I mean, I'm very, very, very much against it. You can take politics out of that. That's politics, and go somewhere else on that one. You're talking about slaughtering a baby. And the Bible says that hands that shed innocent blood are an abomination unto God. And a baby is as innocent as it can be. So seeing things like that YouTube ad with those little children starving like that, it just makes me want to try to do more, even if it's donating somehow in some way. And I would like to know that the money is for sure going to those little children, because it's hard to tell with all the scams that we have nowadays, really, where your money's going. I get calls probably just about every day with scammers, and it's a shame, really. But I'd really like to get to a place where I could help someone else. And I mean, even now I'm able to, you know, in certain ways. I don't have a whole lot, but sometimes $5 can help somebody. I remember years ago when I worked at a factory, I'd worked third shift, and I'd went in the gas station to pay for gas and maybe get some other stuff, and as I walked out, there was an old man standing there, and he said, "Hey, young man," he said, "can you buy me a coffee?" He didn't ask for money at all. He just asked if I'd buy him a coffee. And I took the $5 bill out and walked up and gave it to him. And then there's been times, and he was very thankful for it, very appreciative for it, and there's been times in my life to where I was happy for something as simple as that. And I've had people help me as well. I just think it's very good to try to, I feel like a lot of times we can do more than we do for other people. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot. We don't have to be millionaires to do it. I feel like sometimes, you know, talking to somebody can help them a whole lot. Sometimes helping them financially or whatever, you know, if they're really struggling and you're able to, I think we should do that. And there's just so many people in need out there, and I'd like to do more. I even told my wife before, I said maybe somehow we could open like a homeless shelter later on, like one of those non-profit ones, you know, and because in our county, I don't really think there is one right at the moment, but I would just like to do something more to try to help people. So many people in need, especially little children. I mean, of course, I want to help adults as well, but little children have less of a choice in the matter. You know, they're kind of just got to follow their parents or whoever they're with, and And sometimes you see them suffering for the parents' choices. I actually see that a lot nowadays, and it's a shame. It is, but I'd really like to try to help more if I could, in some way or another. Okay, we've got the wood loaded now. We're heading to deliver it, as you can see back there. Got a pretty good load. That was some pretty tough wood too, whatever it was. I don't know if that was pin oak or hickory or what, but whatever it was, it's harder to split than any red or white oak I've ever split, probably. I mean, it definitely is. It's just tough stuff. And it was hollow too in the middle. I mean, I couldn't imagine that stuff if it was solid in the middle hour that would be split. So I don't, like I said, it may be pin oak, it may be hickory. I don't know. I'm not familiar really with doing either one of those too much. If anybody knows, let me know. If you don't mind to comment what that wood is. I tried to get a good shot of it so maybe somebody could tell. But we're heading on to deliver it here soon, and I'll maybe try to record that if I can. He'll split that hay profit with us. Well, that's that guy if he'll split that hay profit with us. And the corn too. Everything's going my way. Beautiful.
Turn left onto Kentucky 1960 West.
I busted my windshield out last year, and I just put this rack on it, and I went right above it. So I put me a piece of plexiglass in there, and it worked good for about a year, and then I busted that piece, which I had a metal rack right here, you know, and I took it off, and shortly after that, I busted that out. So I need to make that a little higher, you know. I don't know if I got windshield.
Yeah, back there.
Oh yeah?
This died down over the hill there.
Oh really? Like an old one, or?
Yeah, it's an old one.
What year is it, you think? There might be a first generation, or second generation, I mean. 70? Oh yeah, that's a first generation then.
Crew cab too.
What is it, a half ton or what? 3/4 ton? My uncle, his is same generation, mine third generation, his is 2003, but his is a diesel, and he's got that 5.9 in it, and I think it's got like 500,000 miles on it, still going good as far as I know. Those diesels go for a long time, don't they?
Yeah, they don't wear because they keep on.
I said too, the engine that's in that one's the kind of engine they use in a school bus. That must pull good, don't it? A school bus engine, 5.9. They've got those gas ones too in some of these trucks, like the size of mine, the half tons that are 5.9, but they're gas, but I've heard they're good ones too. So them bees just take off randomly sometimes.
Yeah,
Record that.
yeah.
Stand over here. Or over there. So have you ever had any stay for a while, or do they just stay for so long when you get them, or how does that work?
I usually get 3 years out of them, and then I got to change and put them in the box.
Wow, that's quite a while though. I've got neighbors over there that live right where we live, and they've got them over there too. Which I think they've got like maybe 5 or 6 boxes or something like that. But I'm going over there every now and then because they don't live on that property. They own the property, I guess, and all I see them do with it really is those bees. It's probably a good 2 acres or so.
does that make the rest of the bees attack or something if they're protecting the queen?
The whole hive.
It's real aggressive, I guess.
I think that one in Ohio got stung 20,000 times, 2,000 times.
Yeah, I'd say. How does a queen come about? They're just born or what?
The bees raise.
We are literally just now leaving that guy's place. He talked to me for probably I'm guessing a good 2 hours. That's a guess, but I'm guessing a good 2 hours. So he liked to talk. But anyways, we got that delivery done, and now we're gonna head to the gas station, then head on home. That whatever that wood was today, it wore me out pretty good, and Carter's pretty tired too. I didn't expect to be here that long at that delivery, but like I said in one of my other videos, the importance of talking to people. That man liked to talk, and I do like to talk with people sometimes too, but sometimes it can go on and on and on if you don't say something. Like there, I probably said at least a good 5 to 10 times that I guess I'm gonna go on, and then he would kind of start another conversation, and I don't mind to talk for a while. But this one turned out to be a lot longer than I intended, but it's all right. We got everything done. I miss the kids. I just want to go home and see them and my wife. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Daddy won't let you get hurt. Look, nothing even happened. Oh hush. You hardly even went any higher.